Good morning. I just wanted to come and share a word that I've been reading this morning and found quite encouraging. And I call it the righteous branch arises. And throughout the book of Jeremiah, where I've been reading at the moment, we just see this phrase about the righteous branch coming and springing up for David. And that's talking about the coming of Jesus. And I'm reading it in Jeremiah chapter 33. Let me read verse 17. It says, "For thus says the Lord, David shall never lack a man on the throne of the house of Israel, and the Levitical priest shall never lack a man in the presence to offer burnt offerings, to burn grain offerings, and to make sacrifices forever." And just think about that there's a promise that comes from God, because Israel are going through a terrible time. They're going through exile. They're wondering what's going to happen, but God is faithful to his promise. And he speaks to them about there will be a time when there will always be someone on the throne of David. There'll be a time when there'll always be a Levitical priest making intercession and sacrifice for them. And so what we see, and this is why it links with the righteous branch of David back in verse 15, arising, because he is the one who will fulfill this prophecy. He's the one who will fulfill this word. So obviously, if we skip forward into the New Testament, we see that Jesus is born in the line of David, so a descendant of David. And we also see that he is called a priest if we read in the book of Hebrews. Now, he wasn't a priest in the line of the Levites, but he was a priest in the line of Melchizedek. And so again, if you read in the New Testament, you see that as Jesus is crucified, as he is risen and ascended, he is established on the throne. And there he intercedes on our behalf. So in his role in that heavenly place, Jesus Christ is both ruler and priest. And so he fulfills this wonderful promise that he is the one who is going to reign forever. He is the one who is our priest, the sacrifice forever. And we see this as well in the fact that obviously in AD 70, Jerusalem is ransacked. It's completely obliterated. And so the kingly line is lost. The Levitical line is lost. These things are lost, but the reason is because they were no longer needed, because Jesus Christ fulfilled these things. I do just want to read this other verse. It's in 22. And again, Jeremiah says, "As the hosts of heaven cannot be numbered, and the sands of the sea cannot be measured, so I will multiply the offspring of David, my servant, and the Levitical priests who minister to me." And when I read that, I immediately thought of the verse in 1 Peter 2:9, where it says that we are a royal priesthood. So again, Jesus is the ultimate fulfillment of this, but then he outworks this through his church. He outworks this by declaring that we are a royal priesthood. So we are kings and priests to minister to him. We are the outworking of this prophecy. And so I just love the fact that God has a plan, even if we're going through difficulty, even though things might seem lost. God has a plan, and he's bringing redemption all the time. He brought it through Jesus Christ once and for all, and he's got a plan for the church to be his ministers on this earth. And so I encourage you this morning just to be a minister for God. Make yourself available to God. Know your calling to be a royal priest, both a king and a priest to God. And then outwork that calling in your ministry to him. God bless.